So I'm Steve Wooler. I'm the Chief Executive of the BWB Group, which is a multidisciplinary consulting engineering practice that is actually now part of the CAF Group, which is a Spanish train manufacturing company operating globally. I'm a civil engineer by profession, so I'm a chartered civil engineer, and I have a significant interest, professional and personal, in the property sector and particularly the challenges that we face as a society. But engineers, I think, occupy a particularly important function within the development world because we can make a difference, we can advise clients. The main challenge that is centre stage is clearly climate change. We have a time limit on interventions that we can make. I think a large part of the challenge that we face is defining what the problem is in a common language so that we're talking or have an understanding about what the issues are. I think it is really necessary to inject a degree of urgency about doing things rather than continually talking about them, which I fear is probably the biggest challenge that we face. We could keep going round and round the subject without taking effective action and intervention to do things. I think there has been a sea change in clients and professionals operating in the sector that now is the time to take action. I do think society was facing all sorts of issues, social and environmental, before March last year. COVID added an additional layer of complexity. Getting back to the main agenda item of dealing with environmental challenges after a global pandemic is probably what I'm seeing now is people are taking time to get back into the flow. So there was a disruption caused by COVID that potentially lost us some time. In some ways though, it's refocused the mind about the urgency of doing things because COVID has accelerated some of the ESG issues which were issues before. Well, they're even more important now and more challenging. It was a very wide-ranging discussion. I think the consensus at the end was that the logistics sector is a juggernaut driven by many things in society, in retail, in human behaviour that have become, some of them have become more established because of recent events. E-commerce has become, it's accelerated, the move to e-commerce, therefore increased demand. Layer on top of that Brexit and supply chain issues and disruption, labour, etc., access to people to operate. Lorry drivers was an issue. So it was a hugely interesting conversation that had there wasn't one theme came out of it, but I think there was a lot of informed discussion that I enjoyed contributing to, hearing other aspects, considerations from different professionals in the sector, both owners, other advisors, developers. So yeah, lots of thought pieces I think to take away from it. A lot of time now to reflect on what's been discussed. So yeah, really interesting.